Well, hello. Oops. One second, guys. Hello. Hello. Okay, there we go. Welcome in, everybody. I am Dean the Turkey Legster, and welcome to another Tuesday night here on the channel. This is Let's Talk Turkey, and one of my favorite days of the whole entire week because I get to come and I get to chat with you guys. So welcome in to everyone who is watching live. Maybe you popped in live later on in the stream and you're watching the replay. Maybe you're just watching the replay. Totally. Um, Welcome in to the show. Really quickly off the top, I do want to give a programming update for the channel. Just not to spend the whole time talking about what I'm going to do on the channel. But I had been teasing a brand new show that was the Pixie Dust review, renamed to the Pixie Dust Files, and it was going to be once a month and just talking about major conversation pieces in the Disney news arena. I've decided to scrap that project idea after I realized really the setup of this Let's Talk Turkey is really just allows for talking about anything, including any subjects relating to Disney news, Disney updates, discussions about, the hot topics there, or anything outside of Disney. Really, that's what Let's Talk Turkey is about, is being honest about and talking honestly and openly about anything, be it having a game, doing some kind of a game, or finding some, weird articles or whatever, having a guest on. This is already an all-purpose show. So there's going to be no more pixie dust files. Instead, I will from time to time be talking about Disney topics. And sometimes they may not have Disney topics. And that's just the nature of the show. And plus, it'll just keep my life simpler. Just having less shows, less is more, basically. Less is more. So let me say hello to the friends. I've got several friends in the chat already. The Hitchhiking Bones, Don, hello, welcome in. Julie McCowan, gobble gobble, happy Tuesday. Hello, hello, zippity doo dog, hello, hello, happy Tuesday. Gloria Thibodeau, welcome in, hello, hello. Jason Thibodeau, welcome in, hello, hello. Happy Tuesday to everyone. And again, if you are watching this on the replay, and all of you guys watching live as well, make sure to bop that like button, and all of you on the replay, leave me a comment and let me know that you were here. I'm going to be delving right into the main topic of the stream, what I'm going to be talking about, because I think I do need the whole hour to kind of go through everything. Where's my notes? I actually made notes. Okay, here we go. The last Friday, this is a sub chat thing. Last Friday, January the 24th, was National Peanut Butter Day, and I put a poll up on my community tab asking people what their favorite, do they prefer crunchy or creamy peanut butter? And I had 18 responses to that poll. And so the final vote from all the respondents in my little peanut butter poll was 33% said they prefer crunchy, 67% said creamy. So there you go. And if you did not realize that that was last Friday and you did not celebrate Peanut Butter Day, I think you're allowed to celebrate late if you want or need to. So, there you go. Stephen Rocky Singleton, hello. Hello, from Florida to up to Wyoming. Great to have you here tonight. So, let's go into, let's get into it, guys. A couple of months ago, um, and actually this was in anticipation for um, a new show that was going to be talking about Disney stuff. I decided it would be kind of fun to kind of see what people thought about all these the updates that are coming to Walt Disney World. And there's a lot of different feelings on it. And I decided I would put out a survey or a poll, however you want to look at it. Tina McNeil, hello. Hello, welcome in. Mandy Adams, hello, welcome in. So I put out this poll, it was a couple months ago, and I really intended for it to not be up as long as it did. But anyway, um, I went through and I asked everyone. The question was, how enthusiastic or excited are you about all these different um, announcements of these different things that are happening or coming to Walt Disney World in the next few years here? Um, so the scale, first of all, the poll is closed now. The survey is closed now. I have taken it down. It's not available. I had 18 respondents, so thank you if you were one of the 18. So again, the scale that I used here was number 1 is not at all excited or enthusiastic. Number 5 up to 5 is very much enthusiastic or excited. So here are the different items that I asked about. I asked about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the announcements of the items and plus some comments. And I'll have to bring out my phone for the comments. That's fine. So here we go. Keep in mind the scale. 1 is not at all. 5 is very much excited or enthusiastic. So starting at Animal Kingdom, we have the Tropical Americas replacing Dinoland USA. The average number was 3.94. So fairly enthusiastic. Second item, Zootopia Show replacing Bugs Life Show. The average there was 2.72. So kind of right in the middle between 1 and 5 there. As far as an average, not very enthusiastic at all. I think this next one I think was the least actually got the lowest average. We're going over to Hollywood Studios for this one. Monsters Inc. Land replacing Muppets Courtyard. and that was an average of 1.83, so not very enthusiastic at all. Again, at Hollywood Studios, the Muppets retheme of Rockin' Roller Coaster. That was an average of 2.56. And then over at Magic Kingdom, we have the Frontierland reimagining featuring Cars attractions. And that was average of 2.00, exactly 2. Not too excited. Also, we have addition of Villains Land to the park was the next item, and that got a 3.17. That was the average enthusiastic level of enthusiasm. And then the last item is the new nighttime parade, Starlight, and that was an average of 4.61. So definitely the clear winner. So I don't think I did. That's one problem with having the survey up for so long, is I don't think I responded to these, but generally I am between 3 and 5 on those. Just as an average, I'd probably be around a 4. Some of them be closer to the 3. Kind of. Oh, Jennifer, hello, welcome in from the Polynesian. Well, aloha. I should say aloha, Jennifer. Welcome. So, there is a lot of, and I kind of realized after that I put out the survey that I really could have split up the questions having to do with replacing a thing, as far as kind of a more generally, I think that what I got, and I'll go into the comments about the where is it? Different things I put in. Mike Beachman, hello, welcome in. So I also gave on this survey, I had some sections where I allowed people to kind of ask specific people to put their specific thoughts on different questions, just to kind of feel out how people, thought. There were 2 specific ones, and then I allowed just some general extra thoughts about things in Walt Disney World that are going to be happening. Brian, welcome in. Hello. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. So the first question that I thought about, because we didn't actually get an announcement for this area in Hollywood Studios, and that is the Star Wars launch bay. So I asked, what should happen there? Because a lot of people were speculating, that is where the Muppets, new Muppet, or not Muppet, but the Monsters Inc. land, could go. And so I had 14 responses, some a little more wordy and some very brief. So I'll go through these responses. So keep in mind, when I'm asking about Star Wars launch bay, what should happen there? These are the responses that I got. Something So what should happen there? Something. It really should have been at the top of the list. It's been empty for far too long. I thought maybe Monsters area, but sadly, nope, not today. That's where Monsters Inc. attraction should go. Next response, and I agree 100% with this, Turkey Leg Land. Um, Next response, Monsters, why close Muppets to open another attraction somewhere else? Leave it where it is and put Monsters into the already existing roller coaster. And guess what? Disney had an answer for that. Next response was use it for special tributes. Decent idea. I like it. Again, 100%. Someone said Turkey Leg Land. Monsters Inc. should have gone there, was the next response. Next, we have replace with Marvel themed Zootopia Land. Next response, lots of space. Many things can go there for sure, but we'll miss the OG props on display of Star Wars, although understandable. That's why I'm not understanding the wording. That's where Monsters Inc. needs to go. Jonathan, welcome in. Hello. Next response, should have relocate Monsters Inc. Land to Animation Courtyard. And then the last response was put Monsters Land there and leave Monsters Muppets Courtyard Muppet Vision 3D as is. And so those were some response there. Next response. Oh, next question, I guess. Actually, the next question I had, because this was something that I was kind of thinking when we're going over to Magic Kingdom now. When and they announced that they would be doing Villains Land, a lot of, I think it's one of those ideas that there's some people that are all for it. Some people are kind of not so sure about it. I think it's a decent idea, but here's the thing. I think that would Villains Land actually work better as Disney's fifth park? I think it's a word. I don't know, I don't know if Disney's gonna hear my thoughts or see the stream or whatever, but definitely looking at all the themes they have the themes that Disney has in their parks. If they were to go into a fifth park, I think that a Villains Land or a Villains kind of themed park would work really well as its whole park. That's just my feeling. I don't know that Disney has a ton of options. I don't think. Let me just read through these responses because I'm going to go into my thoughts. I'm going to talk through some thoughts. And it might be a little bit of a whirlwind. But let me just talk about, this is the question I posed. Would Villains Land work better as a fifth gate? I think overwhelmingly people said yes. There were a few no's. So I'm not going to actually, instead of reading all through them, one point was made that everyone knows villains have their own layers. One said, sure, but it should be hero and villains. I guess my thought on that would be that you kind of have you already have the heroes in Magic Kingdom. You largely have the good guys with a little bit of the villains, in their specific stories. Um, for example, on the Little Mermaid ride, it's a ride through of the Little Mermaid, and so you've got Ursula in there so you've got the villain showing up in the attraction. Um, so I think if they do villains, I think it would work better if it was just villains. So kind of generally the respondents, I had 16 responses to this item that say yes, it would work better as a fifth park. I also had a section on here that was kind of in general comments, opening it up. And I had 4 responses to here. One had 2 thoughts. Number 1, get rid of reservation requirements. Yes, I totally agree. The second part to that comment was correct. The DAS, the disability system. And then the next 2 ones, first says, leave Rivers of America, Tom Sawyer Island, and the riverboat alone. If Cars Land is needed, which I honestly doubt, put it over with the show in Hollywood Studios. And then the last comment that I had was, Disney is systematically destroying Frontierland. Shame on them. Do an actual expansion on all that land that Walt bought and stop retheming historic and beloved attractions. So those are the thoughts. That's all I have from the survey. I kind of had some thoughts. Okay. Let me look ahead. I may want to talk about that after. Okay, let me see here. First question. First question I kind of asked myself, I'm kind of thinking through, is there really room for expansions in the existing parks? Kind of looking at, is there really a lot of room at Magic Kingdom? I'm not sure how Disney's looking at the park's footprint. As far as, do they want to keep the park within the what's the term, the berm of the train tracks? And I think if they do Villains Land, they are going to have to expand outside of that. I don't know that they would necessarily maybe have an issue with that, since it's the villains way out there. It's kind of sticky. That's kind of where was kind of thinking about, they're looking at Frontierland, putting the Cars attractions into the Frontierland. They're kind of reimagining the whole concept of Frontierland, um, with the addition of the cars. They're kind of looking at. I'm not sure what they're looking at. That's one note I have on here is Frontierland issues. Issues for me is I'm not struggling so much with replacing that part of the park. Actually, it's hard because the riverboat and Tom Sawyer Island kind of represent a more relaxing quadrant of the park, if you will, quadrant section of the park. And then they're putting in a fast ride, what's probably going to be a fast ride, and then I think they're going to do they want to do like a more kid-friendly one, which is still it's going to be some more like action, I think. Um, I'm struggling with the IP. I'm not sure if Cars really goes. I think if they do the storytelling, um, depends on the storytelling and what kind of backstory or what the theme is of these rides and how they what they're actually doing with Frontierland. And I think they kind of shifted something with their vision of Frontierland with the changes to Splash Mountain, turning it into Tiana's, and then the changing to of the Country Bears. So I don't know. I don't know if Cars was really the best IP there. I think it could be fun. I think there's always potential in these changes for it to be good. The problem is that it's just potential. It's not guaranteed. We know Disney might, drop the ball on this one, and um, so that's where I'm kind of working through on the Frontierland thing because I don't know that Disney has. I don't know that Disney has a ton of choices at this point in the timeline of the resort thing. I do know there is um I think I saw somewhere that there is actually an expansion area in Adventureland that they could put something Adventureland themed in there. Kind of the entrance would be kind of between Jungle Cruise and um, Pirates of the Caribbean, and it would kind of go to the back of where Jungle Cruise is. I think that's where I saw that there does exist a little spot kind of designated for something to go back there sometime. The other spot that they really should do something with is Tomorrowland in where they had the Stitches Great Escape attraction. I don't even know what it is now. I think it might be used for meet and greets, but they can do that in other areas. Um, and I do think it should be some kind of a show, some kind of an attraction. I don't know that it would actually be a ride. I don't know that they have the space for a ride, but it should be some kind of a show. Um, maybe it is Stitch. Maybe they do something with Stitch. Um, and maybe, I don't know that it has the setup or the infrastructure. It could be a restaurant. It could be a quick service, maybe. They seem to have a few it's a possibility. I don't know that it's a good, decent possibility, but maybe. Um, so that's my thoughts over at Magic Kingdom. Dave's Disney Dream, hello, welcome in. So next we're going to pop over to Epcot, and I've got some thoughts over there because I am already running kind of low on some time here. World Showcase. Now, I don't expect really anything major to be coming to Epcot anytime soon. But I do feel like the recent overhaul of the front of the park kind of left, what's the phrase, a little bit to, at least a little bit, if not a lot, to be desired. So that said, there are a couple of things that are still they could do. First thing is World Showcase. I think they've got room to put one or two new pavilions in, whether they add it or they maybe replace one of the pavilions. I don't know what that would be, but that's just a thought. I think they should probably consider all the countries that they have, whether they're still doing good. I know that Morocco, I think the country actually gave up its sponsorship or stopped sponsoring it. So I think it's actually Disney's. They may look at doing something with Morocco. Maybe, so that's just one thing. I don't know what countries would actually go into the World Showcase, but that's just a thought that I think, Epcot's over 40 years old. I think it's time that they consider some expansions, some additions in there. And I think they could definitely do that. Next thing is Imagination. The Imagination ride. Figment needs some love. And they do need to keep it Figment, and I think what they need to do is kind of revert it back to the Dream Finder and the Figment and the Dream Finder, and return Imagination to its original glory, but upgrade the technology. And I think they could do it if they really wanted to. I think Figment, they feature Figment on so much of the merch in recent years, and they brought out Figment as a meet and greet a year or two ago. So they've got that in place. I did hear that I think they're doing a movie, if I'm not right. They could be waiting if there is a movie or a show or something in production. I think they may wait till that comes out to maybe see how that is received, to see what kind of refurbishment or overhauls, reimagining, whatever you want to call it, before they move forward with that. I think that's maybe. So I don't know. I guess I'm also curious what the movie's going to be. It depends on, a lot of the modern Disney movies. There's been a couple exceptions, but overall, the recent movies that Disney has put out, whether it be their live action remakes or the other things, they just haven't been that great. There's been a couple that have been better, but overall, so Imagination is, Figment just needs some love. Really does. I also think with that, I think they could consider um, using the space that they use for the theater um, that's attached. That used to be like Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. Now it's like a short film festival, but they've got other space in that pavilion. I think if they kind of open that up and maybe work whatever ride they redo, they would have a little extra room over there. Um, Possibly. It's, a lot of thoughts going in my mind. Um, I don't know. You may not want to, I don't know. You may not want to make a sojourn into my mind because it's really kind of a crazy place. Let's see here. Oh, next we have talk about prime spot for expansions and developments in Epcot between what is Guardians of the Galaxy now and what is Mission Space. There's a Golden Dome building. Back in the day, it was Wonders of Life, the Wonders of Life building. It's nothing now. It's still there. I think they've done some work on it. They teased a play pavilion back a few years ago. They had the Epcot experience over there where the Odyssey is. They had this whole grand thing, and it was such a tease because basically a lot of it didn't come to pass. They did the Journey of Water. They did, what else did they do? Well, I think part of that show was the Harmonious, which that ended up not taking. Um, anyway, that Wonders of Life building, just to get back to my main point, that Wonders of Life building, it's doing nothing. So, Disney, think about that. I don't know what they would do. They have the Inside Out franchise that they could totally do something with. The second Inside Out was a success. And Inside Out was a popular IP even before the second movie happened. So, Disney, Disney, Disney. The other thing I want to comment on it at Epcot is that they've announced that they're putting in a lounge or some like a lounge up in Spaceship Earth in that building that looks out back towards the World Showcase there, and then from the concept art, it looks like if you go up there, at the right time of day, you can enjoy, a distant a viewing of Luminous from that lounge. And so that kind of led me to think, well, back a few years ago, they were looking at, it's been more than a few years at this point, but they were looking at doing a whole overhaul of Spaceship Earth. I don't think that's going to happen, but I do think that they need to update that exit area that's got all those games and everything. I really think they can do something in that space. When you get off of Spaceship Earth, I think it's, I've got mixed feelings on whether they should actually do something with the ride itself, some kind of a update or retheme. I'm not sure about that, but I know for sure it just seems like that exit area after you get off of the ride, and then you go out into the park, that area just seems like it just needs something. So I don't know what that would be. I have no ideas. Um, but yeah. So Disney, think about that. Um, Other thoughts. Now we're going to move over to Hollywood Studios. And I was thinking about the Monsters Inc. land versus the Muppets Courtyard. This is going to be a probably drop a bombshell on people because I know everyone's saying, well, this Muppets Courtyard, Muppets Vision, Muppet Vision 3D was Jim Henson's last work. It's been there for, I hear the argument, it's been there for years. At the classic rides, Jim Henson's last work. I don't know. That may be true, but I think, I think Jim Henson, I see Jim Henson as a creator, um, an innovator also. And I don't think Jim Henson would really mind that this is happening. Given that there's been such a huge chapter of the parks, the park story that it's been there, and it's along the same lines of Frontierland. I think that not just that I think it's Jim Henson would be okay with it. Especially since the Muppets are still going to live on in Hollywood Studios. J&N Travels, hello, welcome in. Do I visit? I don't usually. I haven't gone to Universal like ever, but I am aware that they have turkey legs there. So yeah, it's good to know that I can go to Universal and be safe. Also, they sell turkey legs at SeaWorld, so I can go there and be safe. But yeah, welcome in. Yeah, I do want to go back to Universal at some point in the future. But anyway, back to Hollywood Studios. So Monsters Inc. Land versus Muppets Courtyard, again with the story and the theming. I know they've got the door coaster, or whatever they're going to call it. That's going to be kind of probably the biggest attraction. And then they'll probably have a show in where Muppets Vision 3D was. It depends on what they do with it and how they do it. I think it has potential. But I really hope that Disney does not drop the ball on this. And that it's a good change. So the other part to that is Launch Bay. That was the other possibility. And now, where does that leave Launch Bay? I think that there's still room, obviously, there's still room to do something in Star Wars Launch Bay. That's the good news. Because Disney may have some ideas for that spot, for that area. I don't know what. I don't know what would go in there, what could go in there. I do think they have enough Star Wars area with Galaxy's Edge that they don't need to be redundant with that over there. So again, I really don't know what they would do with the monsters back there. with, sorry, I don't know what they would do with that area. Epcot Forever, welcome in. Hi Jordan, how are you? Welcome in. Just talking through Walt Disney World, the announcements and thoughts about the park developments, and I need to keep talking because there may need to be a part two to um, this stream. Um, did I see Disney had filed new permits regarding the Little Mermaid area? So I don't know if there's anything more recent than I know that they were working on a new show. So I don't know if there's something different. Like in the last couple of years, they were working on redoing the Little Mermaid show. I don't know if there's something different. Um, but that was the last I knew. That would play into the Launch Bay area if they're thinking about doing something with that area, I guess. Um, um, so next item on my thought list is thinking about the Rock and Roller Coaster and the show area, Muppet possibilities, and how it, and I'll get over it. So I think it's a decent idea that they're putting the Muppets into Rock and Roller Coaster. Um, Decent, not great, because the thing is, unless they're slowing down that roller coaster or redoing um, um, how the coaster operates, it's not going to be kid friendly. It's not going to be family friendly. And so, while, older kids, teenagers, adults may enjoy it, I can just picture, Animal with his drum set working in really well to a rock and roller, coaster. So it's a decent idea. I don't think it's great. I think they need to have something else Muppets that's specifically kid friendly. So hold that thought. Hello, Chris Curtis family. Hello. Gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble. Welcome in. So that leads me to the my next item on here on why they putting in a villains show. They took out the Cars show. Now they're putting in a villains show. Why? I have some thoughts on this. These are theories. I haven't read anything official. I have no inside knowledge. These are some thoughts. For right now, I think they're taking out. I think they're taking. The possibility is I think they could have taken out Cars and put in villains kind of as a. I think a new villain show could be serving as a preview for stories or storylines that are going to happen in Villains Land. And I think I think they took the Cars out because they're confident that their expansion is going to be, successful with the in Magic Kingdom. So I don't know if that thought makes sense to you guys, but I think that they're testing the waters with their audience to see how maybe some of these villains' presence kind of works. And I'm wondering if they're gonna have some kind of a villains show or something in Villains Land that might They might move this villain show over there when it's opened, or to Villains Land when the Villains Land. What am I saying? They might move the villain show to Villains Land once the land opens. That's what I'm saying. Um, but I'm wondering if with that they're kind of looking at maybe putting a Muppets show in there at some point in the future, because you're gonna, if you have Muppets roller coaster and then you have a Muppets show. I think that kind of a new kind of a Muppets area to sort of replace the Muppet Courtyard, um, because Muppets is I think the Muppets is or could be a very lucrative brand. If it's not already, and I think it kind of is, I think there's a lot of love for the Muppets. In fact, I know there is. I think, again, I think if they do it right, and I'm not sure about that. I don't know why. I think because Muppets Vision 3D was still open for a while, it wouldn't have made sense to put a Muppet show, but I'm wondering if somewhere down the line that Villains show goes out of Hollywood Studios and either goes over to Magic Kingdom in the new land, and they do something with that show space with the Muppets. Um, maybe, maybe. I don't know. Talking about the future of parks and everything, another space, another space, that could be used for something else that's been there for a long time is the Indiana Jones show. I think there's enough a space in there to maybe do something with. I don't know what brand they would do. I don't know if they would, but I think it could and should be on the table for something, at least in my view. Especially since Indiana Jones is going to still have a presence in the parks with the Animal Kingdom. And speaking of Animal Kingdom, let me just go through my last items. I've got 5 items, and I think the last part, I can deal with. I can talk about. I kind of touched on it, but anyway, here's my thoughts. We're going over to Animal Kingdom. The first item is the Zootopia show replacing Bugs Life show. So again here, I'm okay with a change coming. Just the general concept. I'm okay with it. I'm not sure about Zootopia. I'm really not sure about Zootopia. And I don't know what other IP, what other show would work in there, but I think it's reasonable to explore different options for that space, just in terms of bringing something new to the park. And again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, a skipping CD, whatever you want to call it, but I think there's potential for that space. I think there's some potential for Zootopia, and I think Zootopia deserves some kind of representation. I think Zootopia could go probably over in Launch Bay, over in Hollywood Studios. they could do something with Zootopia over there. Um, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure about Zootopia working with a Bug's Life replacement. Tropical Americas replacing Dinoland USA. I am 100% on board with this. Dinoland USA has been there long enough. The park needs, um, the park needs something new there. And, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing that change. The next question I have is thinking about what could or should be updated or any changes is Pandora in Animal Kingdom. Is it due for an update yet with the new movies that are coming out? There's been a second movie, and I think the new area that they're putting in Disneyland is gonna be inspired by the newest movie, the water one, um, from what I've seen. But there's at least one other movie coming for Avatar. So I think it's very possible that there could be some updates coming to Pandora. Um, I don't think it, I think it's reasonable to there to be some discussion about that area getting something done with it. I think it's decent. Also, I think it's high time that we meaning Disney, should explore some kind of a ride with The Lion King. I know we have the show, and I don't know where it would go. There might not be anywhere that it would work. Um, Actually, Tina, I don't know that because I don't ride that ride. Um, um, it's possible. I'm not sure. Um, and if that's true, then if they did update the ride, then okay. Um, because it's the same Pandora that the whole Avatar thing's happening in. So I don't know. I would have to get confirmation from someone because I don't do more intense rides like that. So I actually don't know. I actually don't know that they if they did that or not. Um, but again, Lion King might I think it I think they could do something with the Lion King. I think it's a popular enough series IP. They could do something with the Lion King and keep the show. And then again, my last thought at Animal Kingdom is they need they need a nighttime show and or a show in that outdoor theater space that on the water there where they had Rivers of Life. I know that they can't do fireworks. I don't know how well doing something with drones would even work in Animal Kingdom. Um, I just know that that is wasted space. Again, on the theme of wasted space and possibilities, um, they can do something with lights and music and something, even if it's not like nighttime, something in the early evening, that kind of creates I'm going to get all musically, um, creates a crescendo to people's day in the park. There's nothing. You go in there, you go on rides, you walk around, you look at the animals, you do a couple shows and there's nothing really, oh, we're staying until whatever. There's nothing there. They need something that they can do at Animal Kingdom, you know, and to keep people in the park into like the evening. Doesn't have to be super late. It can be like, 8 o'clock, 7, 8 o'clock. And then, if they want to, have the park closed after that, great. But they need something to kind of keep people there longer. So I don't know what that would be. I don't know what that would be. But anyway, those are my thoughts on what's coming to Walt Disney World coming soon. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the stream here. Before I go, in case you missed it, I was live this past Friday from the Fort King historical site up in Ocala, Florida. And I walked around there for a little bit. I explored / got lost in the woods for a little bit of it. I had a great trip up to Ocala, and there's other places. I'm going to get back up there sometime, but if you did miss it, there is a link to that live stream in the description of this stream, of this video towards the bottom or at the bottom. So check that out if you missed it, that live stream from this past Friday. Next Tuesday, I will be back with more Let's Talk Turkey. So looking forward to that. Also Thursday, I will be live right here for Once Upon a Turkey Leg. Come by, relax, listen to some stories. Always a fun time. And what else? I believe that is all. If you have any reactions to my thoughts on the stream, leave them in the comments. Reach out to me privately on direct message on social media. You can text me, you can email me, you can, I don't know, send a carrier pigeon. But I'd love to know what you think about what I think. Yeah, so thanks again, guys, for watching. Everyone watching live, everyone watching on the replay. And I will look forward to seeing you guys again before you know it. So have a gobbletastic night, guys. Take care. Go over and say gobble gobble and hello to my friends Dawn and Will over at the Hitchhiking Bones. They might be live right now, or going live soon. There's Dawn, for Hitchhiker Chat. So pop over there and hang out with them for the next couple hours, hour, or whenever. So take care, guys. See you again next time before you know it. Bye bye.